Yeah, what is going on, everybody? We are back with another episode of From My Experience podcast. I am your host, Rob, and I'm excited this episode. I'm excited because we have a special guest. We're going to get to that special guest in a moment, and this is going to be a hilarious conversation, an insightful conversation, and one you're definitely going to want to share. But how y'all doing? How are my listeners? How are my subscribers? How are my first-time listeners? How are my people who just came back after 2 or 3 months? I missed y'all. Stay. Don't go anywhere. Shout out to y'all. I hope y'all are having a great week. Hope you are having a great day, and I hope all is well with you. If you want to support the show, you can shop with our affiliates, Acre Gold, Garner's Garden, and Jot Forms. Those links will be in the description. You know, it's funny. A couple episodes ago, I said those descriptions will be in the link, and maybe I need to write that down. I don't know, but ladies and gentlemen, we got a special guest today. Now, you know, I believe in divine intervention. I believe that people's paths cross when they're supposed to cross, and you have to really learn in life when to make a left instead of a right sometimes. You can't hear something and automatically put somebody in a box and say to yourself, oh, I already know what they're talking about. I already know what they're going to say. I don't need to listen to that. It's not always the case, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm glad I listened to this brother. And I'm going to let him tell y'all all about what it is that he does. So, without further ado, we have a marketing director with World Financial Group, Demece Williams.
Rob, man, what's going on, man? Hey, all the From My Experience podcast subscribers, man, how you guys are doing tonight, man? We're going to have an amazing conversation. Man, I'm fired up. I've been waiting on this all day. Man, I'm just happy to be with you tonight, man. What's going on?
Yo, let me tell y'all, this is how he is. Like, yo, you stay fired up. It's probably your background in sports. That's what I think it is.
Yeah. Gotta be game ready all the time, bro.
Man, you have made quite a few transitions. So, let's start with, I usually start with college. If you want to go back further, you can. But tell us, who is Dee?
Oh, man, first and foremost, man, Dee is a son, a husband, a father, God-fearing man, and also, man, just somebody who wants to put people in a position to live a greater life, man. And I tell you, man, Rob, you crossed paths back when we were at Claflin University, man, and I only stayed for a year and a half, man, but one thing about genuine friendships, genuine bonds, man, all it takes is a phone call to reconnect.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, man, from Claflin University in Orangeburg, South Carolina, man, I matriculated up to Virginia. Never heard of the school I was attending. Only thing I knew, Rob, they said, hey, look, man, they're giving you a baseball scholarship. And that's all I needed to know. So, man, I've always been an athlete, man. I love sports. And then so I came to Virginia in 2005, man, and played baseball at Norfolk State. Had a great career, had some pro opportunities, man. But, that wasn't the plan for me, man. I didn't know that this is what I would be doing. Mm-hmm. But I'm so grateful that I'm doing what I'm doing in the financial services industry, man. And so now, my background before finances was Parks and Recreation, man. I was overseeing all the youth and adult sports for the city of Norfolk, Virginia, man. Shout out Norfolk, Virginia, 757. But I'll tell you, it didn't feel like work because I was a lifelong athlete.
Yep.
And overseeing youth and adult sports, my job never felt like work. But I'm going to tell you what was the eye-opener.
What's that?
I have a very, very beautiful wife who, I love dearly. But let me tell you something, Rob. Hey, my wife, I love Alexis. I love you, baby. My wife got Cristal taste, and the city was giving me a Budweiser budget, man. It don't mix, man. So I knew I had to do something different, man. So didn't know it was going to be financial services, but I'm so glad. I'm so grateful that it is, man. I am. I really am.
See, I'm not good with math, so anything numbers, arithmetic, formulas, I typically stay away from that, and I leave that to the experts. So, what was your transition like from dealing with like the parks and recreation side to switching over to the financial side? Was that a rough transition for you?
Well, here's the thing, man. To me, I'm so competitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I ever encounter anything that's not the norm, that's foreign to me, I always challenge myself to learn it very quickly. But I think by not having any financial services background when I started, gave me an upper hand because I was a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
So everything my mentors were telling me, I was just taking it in, learning, growing. And so before long, I have an alpha male type personality, so I really want to be independent. I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I don't mind working in a group, but you know how it is when you work in a group. Somebody don't, they get an A for the grade, Rob, but they didn't show up.
They show ain't do nothing.
And I tell you, man, and so that was my mentality initially coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I started to learn and grow in the industry, I understood that, hey, listen, being a part of a team is not a bad thing, being a former athlete, but being a part of a team in business is an amazing thing because now you have an opportunity to leverage your business partners.
Yeah.
And so, man, once I caught that, the sky was the limit. It has been the limit for me, man. So the transition, it was something different because I went from, coaching, getting kids athletically ready.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you, man, some skills are transitional in every single thing that you do in life.
Yep.
And that competitive edge, that competitive nature, is definitely something that has allowed me to be very successful here with World Financial Group.
You are, yeah. With what you do, you definitely have to have that spirit on you, and you got to be ready to work for it. You have to be ready to work for it. I'm glad you mentioned transitional skills. That helped me when I transitioned from education into real estate. A lot of those skills, those interpersonal skills, the documenting, the technology, all that stuff played a part when transitioning. But I ended up back in education. But you stayed right where you are. So talk to me about money. Let's talk about the black community and money. Where do you see the issue, the problem? We've talked about this off air, and I want you to repeat some of the things that you said to our people because they really, really, really need to hear this. And y'all, if you are a parent, please take notes. Make sure you get Dee's information. It will be in the description. He's going to say it quite a few times. But this is the point in time, ladies and gentlemen, where you need to take out pen, paper, open your notes app, whatever. You need to get this information today. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So as we shared, man, as I shared with you, I come from humble beginnings, right? I grew up in a very small town, by the name of Newberry, South Carolina. And I grew up in a household, Rob, where my mom didn't sit me and my brother down at the kitchen table and talk about money. We didn't talk about finances, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I can guarantee you there were more spade games dealt at my mom's kitchen table than financial conversations. And here's the thing, man. In the African American community, we're more inclined to talk about what's going on in our bedrooms than our bank accounts. And that's a hindrance. Because if someone can help you from a financial standpoint and can actually enhance what you already are doing,
yep,
why not have those conversations? And so I'll tell you, man, I'm 36 now, man. I didn't realize I grew up poor till I was 30. So, growing up, I would get free lunch from school. Rob, went to college on a baseball scholarship. I was getting everything for free.
Yep.
Joined the best fraternity in the world, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And I was getting all these extracurricular activities for free. So I thought maybe, hey, I'm cool. That's why I was getting free lunch.
Yeah.
Nah, Demece. Nah, you had a food stamp number attached to that lunch ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that until I was in my 30s, man. I'll tell you. So what we have to do as a community is learn to integrate financial literacy in our households with our children. Right now, man, I have a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old, and my 6-year-old can explain the rule of 72 to you. He can explain to you how money works. He's read the book.
Excellent.
And so we have to set that foundation, man. And I tell you, man, I love my mom. Mm-hmm. She did the best that she could do with what she was given.
Right.
But I believe as parents, we should always strive to have our children live a better life than what we did.
I agree.
Right? Because creating generational wealth, a lot of people think it's a money thing, Rob, but it's not. Creating generational wealth is a mindset thing. Do you want to keep up with the Joneses, who don't even know you, who don't care nothing about what you look like, what you're wearing, what you're driving? Or do you want to create financial freedom? That's the biggest question.
And are you ready, willing, and able to do the work?
Exactly. That's key.
So,
you know, Rob, you know they say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink?
Nope. Yep.
I'm the guy feeding the horse the salted peanuts, though. whether you like it or not, you're gonna get this financial education from me because I'm so passionate about it. Because I know what it's done for my family and all of those families I've been able to help through my career. And sometimes people don't know what's for their good until you almost hold them down and say, "Hey, look, this is for your good."
So we're plagued by that, man. Like the whole keeping up with the Joneses, and I think a big part of it, and I can speak from personal experience, it's embarrassment. Like you don't want people to know you have credit card debt. You don't want people to know that your credit is not where it should be or where you would like it to be, especially as we get older, because we put these expectations that, oh, you grown. You should have a house, a car, making six figures, yada, 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 yada. You should have all that by now. If you don't have all that, something wrong with you. So now we try to stay as close to that image as possible by hiding things. But one thing I always tell people, and I tell my students this all the freaking time: be open, find someone you can trust. But if you're going to go to somebody for help, you need to be open and honest and give them as much information as possible so that they can help you to the best of their ability. You know what I'm saying? If I need a $1,500 repair on my car, I can't call D and say, "Yo, man, let me get this. I just need to borrow $200." Now I need to be real. He might have it. You know what I'm saying?
He might have a 15.
Well, if I get the 2, I'm still stuck. I put a Band-Aid on it. I tried to make my situation not look as bad, but I'm still messed up over here, and I owe somebody $200 now. So, you have to drop that. And my thing is this: if someone clowns you or is embarrassing you or trying to play you because you are seeking that kind of help, you're trying to seek, financial, better financial management skills and trying to get a hold on your life and fix things, they not for you. I'm gonna have to say that they not for you, because that person should say, okay, let me look at 1, 2, 3, 5, just like what D did with me, man. He I think it was Facebook. I might have commented on something or you messaged me. However it went down, you was like, "Yo, I just need 10 minutes, bro." Cool. All right. Bong. I was like, okay. I seen some of the stuff you did, and I said, I used to have an account. I was ignorant. I wasn't budgeting like I was supposed to, and it wasn't even a lot of money I was putting into it. That's how bad my personal budgeting was. But I got rid of that. And then, came to one of your presentations. I enjoyed it. It was very straightforward to the point. I don't like fluff, and I don't like to be sold, and I did not feel that way. And people who know me personally know that is a character trait of mine. And I was ready. That's the other thing when I say being ready. This brother hit me. He said, "All right, cool. All right, I need all this financial information." I said, "Cool. I'll have it in such and such time." Done. It was done. It was done, and we sat down, and I learned this from experience. Shout out to my boy Russ Stewart. Russ.
Oh yeah, shout out to Russ, man. Strong Thurman High School, man. Let's go, Russ.
Russ was one of the first people I talked to about this, and I just wasn't mature enough. But he taught me about budgeting, looking at your money different, this, that, and the third, and it's something I carried with me. So now when you're asking me for this stuff, I'm like, oh, this is normal. This is normal. This is what I need to do to get to the next step. And boom, we did it, and here we are today.
Absolutely. And you mentioned something, man, to where I don't know who said this quote, but it's so real. The two hardest things for an American to say is "I'm sorry" and "I need your help."
I can agree with that.
I'm sorry and I need your help. Pride is so thick. Pride is so thick.
Yeah.
That they would rather suffer than ask for help. And they would rather lose and tarnish relationships rather than say, I'm sorry.
Mm.
And I tell, I mean, to all the listeners, if you ever can just mature yourself to where those two statements are not hard for you to say, life will be so much easier. I'm sorry, and I need your help. Very simple.
I will have to concur with that. That's one of the things my dad taught me is to admit when you're wrong. And after a lot of mistakes, embarrassing, bad, horrible decision making, I had to ask for help because I was at a point where it's like, all right, I'm about to not have a car. I'm about to be evicted. Like I was there years ago, but I was there. So I know what it's like. And this is the other thing, y'all. A lot of the times we're scared to ask for help when we might just need a Band-Aid. We let it become a situation where we need surgery. Now you want to come at the, you know what I'm saying? You had a $60 problem with your car, but I got this. Now your car, when you crank it up, it sounds like a banshee. Timing belt all jacked up.
I know my car.
Right, I know my car. Now you got a $1,000 problem. I might have been, that Band-Aid might have fixed it. Put some ointment on it. Oh, here you go. Yeah, preventative maintenance. Let's do some preventative financial maintenance. I started late, and D didn't say this, but I know he did this. He looked at that budget. He looked at my situation. He was like, yeah, you can do this amount. I didn't like the amount he gave me, but but it made sense because he had the numbers. I was honest with the numbers, and all of it made sense. I'm like, yo, I know how much money is going to be on my account at the end of every month, down to the penny. So when he put the numbers in front of me, I was like, man, I used to put that in my savings account. Now I can put this in my savings account, but this is my super savings account.
I like how you put that. I like how you put that. Absolutely.
So what are some of the services that you provide and some of the things that you deal with?
Absolutely, man. So first and foremost, man, education is key, right? And so what I do on a day-to-day basis, I help people learn how to make their money, make them more money, and save on taxes. And the way I'm able to do this, Rob, is through financial education. And we really show people how to avoid the 4 major financial crises that are going down in America, which is your savings, your retirement, your protection or life insurance, and living benefits. Because so many people live under the umbrella of, well, that's how my mama did it, or that's how my daddy did it.
Yeah.
Or I heard this on this, or I read this in this book. Yeah. But let me ask you a question. Are you a financial professional? And so when you think about it, and I think why I have such a passion for what I do, I can relate to every single person I sit down with. I'm able to connect with people because I understand, number one, I wasn't always in the financial place I'm in now.
Right.
You know that personal financial analysis that I did with you?
Yeah.
Rob, when that was done for me and my wife the first time, transparent moment, I don't know how we were surviving, but we were almost $600 in the red every month. Every month. But through financial education and knowledge, now we save through financial concepts, financial strategies, almost maybe. My wife knows the number, but I'm pretty sure it's up by almost 1,000 right now.
Right.
In various strategies. But the thing about it, man, is when I sit down with somebody, the first and foremost thing is there's no judgment. There's absolutely zero judgment. Because I know that I'm sitting down and I want to help people that want help.
Yeah.
As I can want to help somebody as bad as I want to breathe, but if they don't want the help, it's not going to move. And so, like you said, when you're at a place where you know you want to help people, it becomes a lot easier to help when they want the help.
Yeah.
And so when you start thinking about the ways that I'm showing people how I'm helping people is, identifying them. Hey, do you know what your rate of return is on this strategy that you have? Number one, do you understand how it works? Do you understand how your money grows? And last but not least, do you understand how your money is going to be taxed?
Most people don't.
Most people don't. I didn't know until I got educated. So when I tell you, man, in this world, people are so Google, YouTube. Shout
Yep.
out to those platforms, amazing platforms. But Google, YouTube,
Yep.
they can feel like they can figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you need to really sit down with an actual human and allow them to pour some knowledge into you that can not only help you, but also help your generations to come.
Yep.
Man, this what I'm doing, man, my grandkids will never have to worry about money, Rob.
Sheesh. I need to get
Think
on that
about
plan.
my grandkids.
I'm working on that too. That now we said earlier, generational wealth ain't just about money, but we all know that money makes things a lot easier, especially when you know what to do with said money. Dang, you said something, I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh. I'll come back to it.
No doubt.
So, what are some of the? Can you talk about some of the products that you offer?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I'm able to actually help people with various financial strategies, whether it's college savings for your children, whether it's alternative retirement strategies, both term and permanent life insurances, as well as annuities. And so through these financial vehicles, I'm able to show people how they can take what they have and where they are to really set themselves up for financial freedom. Because I'm gonna tell you, Outkast said it a while ago. It ain't about how much you make, but how much you spend.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you guys, it's not about how much you make, but how much you save. And so that's what we're trying to do right now. We're fighting a battle to turn people from a spender's mentality to a saver's mentality.
Oof.
And so to do that, you gotta understand the language of money, Rob.
You do. The funny thing about what you just said is when that mentality really shifts, it makes it harder for you to go back to those old habits. I can speak for myself. I was a big spender with no money. But like if a new game came out, I bought it. If I wanted a steak, I bought it. Like grocery budget out the window. Like I was just doing all kinds of stuff. Part of it was due to the lack of education. Part of it was just stress and frustration and me not really sitting down and saying, okay, get your stuff together. Because I didn't really have... And the other thing that I noticed too, sitting down with you, is my situation was a lot better than I already thought it was. Like, it was already good, but when you kind of laid out the roadmap and I said, all right, this is where I'm at now, then I'm about to run into this, then I'm about to run into this, and what you're saying makes sense because, again, the numbers are real. I'm being true. So, I mean, he can't lie to me about my numbers. They're my numbers. I know what will work for me and what won't because I know my numbers. So, I'm not afraid to have the conversation because I know this is what I'm working with. And I'm not hiding anything. I'm not, let me hide 300 over here to see what he going to say. And since I don't make this much money, maybe he... No, like, I need to know what to do with this. But, again, I'll reiterate to y'all. You have to be ready. You have to be focused. You got to be focused. You got to be serious about this thing. Like, I'm not married. I don't have any children. Shout out to my lovely girlfriend, lovely Kamisha, baby. I don't have any of that stuff. But I do know I want those things. I do know that I want to retire and live comfortably. Like, I don't want to... No shade, but I don't want to be greeting y'all at Walmart or Target or seating you at a restaurant because I have to work. Nah, like it's going to be, if I do any kind of work or any labor once I retire, it's going to be because I want to, not because I have to. And then also just thinking about the future. Like I got a nephew, you know, I have other little cousins that are coming up in the world. I love my school community. I'd like to get back to that. So, I definitely took advantage of the opportunity, man. I just appreciate you for putting it out there. So you haven't even said this yet. So where can people find you? How can they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I'm on social media, Facebook, Demece Williams. So, and I'm also on Instagram at DEEWILL, the number 2, the number 8. So DWill28. And I'll tell you, man, I'm not hard to find, man. My email address is my first name, period, last name. So demece.williams@gmail.com. If you have any questions, definitely hit me up. But I'll tell you, one thing I wanted to touch on is the most prominent strategy that I'm helping people with, one I actually helped you with, that's doing wonders for you. I looked at it the other day.
I need to look at it.
It's called an index universal life, right? So it's a life insurance strategy that allows you to make contributions for that strategy, but allow the contributions that you make grow for you down the line. So you basically have an opportunity to become your own bank if it's funded properly. And when I say if it's funded properly, that varies with your age, health conditions, and things of that nature. Because when you start thinking about an IUL or an index universal life, a lot of people have never heard of this permanent strategy when it comes to life insurance. Most people, Rob, has heard of whole life, which I don't, not whole life. But if there's a way you can enhance what you already have to make it work better for you and your family, why not do that?
Why not?
Why not do that? And I'll tell you, there are several people out here that aren't educated on different strategies. And I'll tell everybody, like I told you, hey, if what you have going on is working great for you, I'll be the first to tell you, hey, stay on that course. You're doing great. But if I can enhance what you're already doing, all I want to do is add to. I don't want to take away. I want to add to.
Right.
So when you start thinking about what this strategy can do for you, I use myself for example, right? Rob, I own 4 of those. 4 of those strategies I helped you with, I own 4 of them. I own mine, wife's, and both of my boys. And I contribute to it because I'll tell you, like I shared with you, as a millennial, I was very intrigued by having an opportunity to be my own bank just by my monthly contributions. And so whenever I was introduced to the strategy, and I was like, okay, so I can have my money, make more money. But then they told me, hey, yeah, you don't have to ever worry about losing any money in the strategy either. I was like, what?
Sounds like the best bank ever.
You like, this too good to be true.
Got to
and
be.
I'll tell you, it's good and true. So, man, being able to have a flexible strategy where, man, my strategy and my wife's strategy is going to be we're going to grow that thing to it's going to be alternative retirement. And for my boys, hey, like I told you, hey, if they grow up and they want to go to college, I'll use the nest egg that I've grown for them over the last 15, 16 years to pay for college. Or if they want to start a business, we can start a business.
Options.
But if they want to decide they want to live, they want to be the next Thugnificent, I'll just use it as an alternative retirement for me and my wife.
Not Thugnificent, man.
Hey, yeah. Hey, no, can't have any thugs around here, man.
What would you say throughout your experiences? What seems to be some of the biggest sticking points or hindrances that are stopping people from moving forward?
Scarcity mindset, number 1, first and foremost. Scarcity mindset.
Break that down.
So when I say a scarcity mindset, a person makes and what a scarcity mindset is in a nutshell is cost over value as opposed to value over cost.
Okay.
So when I sit down with somebody, Rob, before we even get to that personal financial analysis, if they ask me, well, how much does this cost, Mr. Williams?
It's gonna be a long day.
No, it won't.
No.
Because you know what that lets me know? I need to see why they are looking at this from a scarcity mentality as opposed to a value point. And if it is because of a lack of funds, then I can show them a different strategy that will put them in a position to start the habit of saving to one day now they can graduate to an index universal life. And I always use the analogy, right? Scarcity mentality, cost over value, value over cost, right? I'm so willing to take value over cost because I know what I'm getting.
Right.
I always tell people, you ever go to a cookout and you see those paper plates and they got like those super duper ridges on the side?
Yeah.
You know you got to grab like 3 or 4 of those for the food.
Yeah.
And and at that cookout, you will not grab your drink and your plate. You'll have that plate with 2 hands.
Yep.
Because your goal is to make it to your table. But if you ever go to a cookout and they got those nice hefty deep dish plates, Now we know the healthy deep dish, you probably will get 20 less, about 30 less plates.
Yeah.
But the value is gonna surpass those paper plates from the first cookout.
Yep.
So whenever value is present, cost doesn't matter.
Wow.
When value is present, cost doesn't matter. Think about this.
I'm about to tell myself. Go ahead.
People don't debate how much a chicken sandwich costs from Chick-fil-A.
No.
Chick-fil-A will never have a dollar menu.
No, and don't need one.
They know that their chicken sandwich has a higher value than the chicken sandwich from the other place with the arches. I won't say their name.
Yeah.
I don't want to bash them. Right? So they're not going to lower their standards for your pockets. What they'll do is they'll offer you a kid nugget snack pack. so you get a taste of the value, right? Yeah. And then whenever you mature, okay, come back and get the chicken sandwich. But you never want to minimize value to meet cost. Because when you do that, the value is out of the window. So when I sit down with people, I've always come from an approach of educating first, but then also showing the value of what I do and what the strategies I help people with could potentially help them. So when you start thinking about value, you will pay for value.
Yeah, people do it all the time. And back to that personal journey, y'all, you know, what do you value and is it truly valuable? Like my health, I started taking my health way more seriously a few years ago because I was getting ballooned up and big, and I need to get back on it now. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Sweater's starting to get a little tight. I'm like, hold up, buddy. We are at the threshold.
They holding you a little better.
Yup, my future, my financial future. I like to live comfortably. I don't have to live rich or like super high class or any of that, but I like to live comfortably. I like to know that if I walk into a store, I can buy pretty much anything in the store if I want to. And I've put this on my Facebook status. I thank God that I'm past the point to where I'm in the grocery store and I'm in the checkout line and I'm opening my apps, looking at my bank account to make sure that enough is in there. That was me, and not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? And now when you learn different strategies and you do that work because of people like you, people like Russ, talking to me, showing me, saying, man, you can do better than this. You can do this right here. Try this small step. When you put the strategies in place, they work and they become automatic. Like it hurts a little bit in the beginning because you're not used to it and you don't understand it. But later on, it's like, oh, I should have been doing this. Like, imagine if I would have started doing all the stuff I'm doing now a year ago, 2 years ago. Dramatically different. And it's set up for you to win. There are strategies out here for you, me, anybody else to win. Are you going to implement them? Are you going to do your part? And back to the value piece, you know, what is valuable? And you're right. What I did with you is one of my biggest monthly investments. That's more than I put into stocks. That's more right now. That's more than what I put into my business. I'm about to start another one, but my podcast, that's more money than I put into my podcast. So I was like, but I know the value of it. I need this. I'm in a state where they have a great retirement. My retirement is matched. Dollar for dollar, penny for penny. I looked at it the other day. I said, this ain't enough. With them matching it, it ain't enough. Yeah. Not for the lifestyle that I want to live. I can't even live here off of that retirement, and I work here. So I'm like, this ain't enough. So you got to start looking at a few things. Everything can't be a hustle. Everything can't be a new business. Sometimes you need, all right, do this. This will happen. Just put this over here. Walk off, go handle your business. You got to come back here once a month, put something over here, walk off, handle your business. That will be there. All that other stuff might fall apart, may work, may not, who knows. But this right here is good. You got to have a couple of those things. So,
hey, Rob, I'll tell you something one of my mentors shared with me. She said, her name is Tamisha Hunter, by the way, my amazing broker. She said, hey, listen, so many people misunderstand the phrase multiple streams of income, right?
Yep.
Because some people feel as if multiple streams of income is me doing this, and this all at the same time.
Yep.
But the true meaning behind multiple streams of income is to find something that you're great at, allow that to put you in a financial position to where now you can then invest in this, and this that will bring you multiple streams of income. Instead of trying to do 12 different things with 24 hours, you do one thing with 24 hours that can nurture, right, and fertilize 12 other things at the same time.
I was one of those people.
hey, I'm telling you, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens, man. So people have to get to a place where, number one, they're serious about their financial future. We can't always live for the now. And I tell people all the time, when you start thinking about getting to a better financial place, no matter where you start or how you start, you have to incorporate the 2 C's of savings, the 2 C's of financial freedom: consistency and concrete.
Okay.
Consistency means you're going to do it every single month, no matter what. And you're going to have a concrete amount every single time that month.
Every time.
Every single time. Because what happens is, I know you've seen it, man, those 52-week challenges. You're going to save $8 this week. Then you're going to save $12 this week. And it's all great. But when you get to the weeks where you got to save $250,
yeah.
And now you're looking at, man, do I put the $250 in the savings thing or pay this electric bill?
Yeah. You get to a point where it's like it's not feasible for you.
Because it's not consistent. It's consistent because you're doing it every week, but it's not a concrete amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when either of the 2 C's is not present, it's hard for that to be successful. And so what I tell my clients is this: we're going to consistently put away a concrete amount that's going to allow you to get you to your financial freedom, or be an avenue to set you up to be financially free. And from there, when you get to that time when you feel like, hey, look, I'm done working, you have created a nest egg over time that has grown for you. And so when you start thinking about it like that, most people, when I sit down with people, Rob, on a day-to-day basis, I ask them where they're saving their money. 98% of them say, well, the bank.
Yeah.
The bank.
Same.
But they fail to realize that your money isn't growing in that savings account.
It don't.
The bank is making more money off your money than you are. So all I do is educate them on a way to reallocate. Because we're not creating new line items. Exactly the same way I help you. We reallocated some things.
Yeah. That's the other thing, y'all. When we talk about the person who sits down and says, well, how much is this going to cost me? No, I was already putting the money that I'm putting into this, I was putting into other places. And I had to really sit and look at those things. And it's like, all right, I'm doing such and such towards stocks every month. But that's highly unstable. Everybody knows that. I mean, I don't know anything about stocks. I just know that I have some friends that knew more than me. And I invested in what they invested in. And I got lucky. Other than that, I'm just throwing money out there. Hey, Microsoft is a big name. They're going to make money. So I'm going to bank on that. But it was inconsistent. And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of reading. It was a lot of stuff I had to keep up with. And then there were just other things that just did not, for what I was putting into it, the value wasn't there. It wasn't. So when I got with you, I think we after I got with you and we reallocated, I maybe had to go up, I don't know, $70, $80 out of my regular savings in the bank and just move some of that over. But I was still very comfortable. I mean, it was just going from one location to the other. A much better option, though. So.
Absolutely. And so one thing, once people understand how life insurance can be such an amazing vehicle to get you where you want to get financially, because when you start thinking about how that happens, you're able to, number one, make a monthly contribution for your coverage, but everything you contribute to it gets accounted for when it comes time to receive your rate of return at the end of the year.
Okay.
And what happens is that money starts to compound, and now you see down the line you may have contributed, let's say, $150,000 to this strategy over X amount of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you look up and you've grown it, that money has grown to, it actually grew to about, hypothetically speaking, don't quote these numbers, people are like, well, D told me now. Let's say $380,000. So you've only put in 150, but now you have access to 380. And did this, God forbid, you pass away and you never touch that 380, your family is gonna receive the 380 plus the 6-figure life insurance strategy that I set up for you.
I mean, well, yeah. Y'all, and let me tell y'all, from someone who has, God rest his soul, lost a parent, someone who in real estate has dealt with estate sales, when someone passes away, it is very helpful when they leave something behind for you, because there are things left on the table that they can no longer take care of, and all those things aren't 100% taken care of. So therefore, if you want to keep these things or continue utilizing these things and take care of their estate, you got to pay for it.
See, some people think when you die, all your debt go away.
No.
No, man. And I think we have to get from that mentality. And we know we talked about this earlier, is about our African American community, is the phrase of saying, "Oh, I only want enough coverage to bury me," is so selfish. So selfish. When you have that mentality, you're really saying, excuse my French, but F the rest of them.
Yeah.
I'm gone, forget the rest of them. And the F meant for forget, not the other word. Forget the rest of them. So we start thinking about it, the way these amazing family lines have had that lineage, like the Kennedys, the Rockefellers, the Waltons. They left something. Did you know the first Walmart was funded with the money that was received from a life insurance death benefit settlement? Now look at Walmart. You can't go anywhere without seeing it. And so we have to get to a place as people, not just African Americans, as people, to where we're actually looking to create generational wealth and leaving this place better than we found it.
Yeah, like y'all, when you think about, you have, everyone can't be, I don't even want to put anyone's name in it. Think of X, and I'll use celebrity athlete, which is a very small collection. Those people were lucky and blessed and gifted and talented enough to accumulate the type of wealth it has taken other people's families generations, hundreds of years to build. But in order for them to get there, somebody had to leave somebody something. Somebody had to learn from them. It was teaching, leaving, investing, leaving. All that happened until finally you have some of those prominent families like you named. Today, somebody left something and taught them. You becoming that superstar and making, I got $1 billion now, $4 billion or $5 billion. That possibility is so small, and those people work insanely at what they do. But the other thing is, they love it. Doesn't feel like work to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of those people who make that kind of money in a lifetime, they'll tell you when they get to the end of the road, like, it ain't even about me, it's about my people. I got everything I need, and I love what I do. Everyone doesn't have that thing. Like, I love teaching, but you're not gonna ever find a billionaire teacher. I'm sorry, it's probably never gonna happen. Now, I ain't gonna say probably. It's never gonna happen. Not from education. You gotta do something.
Not for the money they make.
Yeah, not from just education. It's gonna take you doing other things. When you got those summers off, hello, my fellow teachers. When you got those summers off, what are you doing with those summers off in that time and stuff like that? But I said all that to say, that's how it starts. I'm taking the lessons that I learned from my dad, and not only family, my friends. My friends have taught me a lot of things that I've implemented. And my friends have stopped me from making a lot of bad decisions because we have open, honest conversations. And they say, hey, Rob, I see what you about to do. I did that. This is how it turned out for me, bro. You might want to go over here. Or matter of fact, wait a couple more months, get your credit score a little higher, and they'll put you in this position versus that position, and you can get what you're trying to get done easier, better, less interest, yada, 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 so on and so forth. Because one thing I like to tell people, and y'all have heard this before, and you not from me, I don't even know who said this quote, but long story short, I don't like being the smartest person in the room. Let me be the dummy so I can soak up all this information, build these relationships, and then we disperse and go to some other rooms and do the same thing. We can come back, smoke cigars, have some steaks on the grill, and let's continue dispersing. But if you always the smartest person in the room, something is wrong.
Absolutely. And that sparked something that you asked me earlier about my transition from my first career in Parks and Recreation to financial services. Hey, my associations grew so tremendously. I went from being in a circle of people where the average income was about 60 to 70 grand a year to being in a room where if your average income was 110, you were the brokest person in the room. And so whenever your associations elevate like that, you have no choice but to elevate as well.
Got to.
And so when you start thinking about being the smartest person in the room, if you're the smartest person in the room, that says a lot about the room you're in.
Yeah, that too.
And that's just like if you look at the 5 people you spend the most time with and communicate with, look at their income, and it is something about what your income is going to be.
Yeah.
So if you have dreams and aspirations to financially put your family in a position to where now, money ain't a thing, you gotta get in those smaller circles with those people that are gonna force you to elevate to stay in that circle.
Yep.
Because one thing I always tell people, I say money isn't everything, but to me it's right up there with oxygen.
It's close.
Hey Rob, when stuff gets, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, the people that you hear say, "Well, money ain't everything," those are the very same people that's never giving it away. Because until you can be a financial blessing to somebody, you'll never understand why money is so essential.
Yeah. Yeah.
Money is the very thing you will need as long as you're on the face of the earth.
Always, y'all.
How are you gonna eat? You need money. It's only so often you're gonna be able to go grab a meal somewhere else.
Yeah.
Shelter. You need money.
They fight wars over this stuff.
What? Yeah. So when you start thinking about it, man, why wouldn't you want to put yourself in a place where you can learn so much financially to where you can leverage that knowledge to implement some skills that could put you in a place where your family never have to worry about it. So to all the listeners out there, guys, man, I'm telling you, man, hey, listen, link with me, connect with me. I'm telling you, there's no judgment. Hey, listen, being transparent, I have clients from $17 a month to $2,500 a month.
Hey, wide variety.
Because I help people that won't help. And I meet you where you are, and we go from there. So don't ever think, oh, I'm gonna talk to you, D, whenever I get where I need to be. Nah, you gotta start where you are so you can get where you want to go.
See, that's something I used to tell my clients in real estate. I'm gonna get with you, when I'm ready to buy a house. Okay, do you actually know how to get ready to buy a house? Because I do this every day.
It's not easy.
And it ain't easy. And the other thing is, I've had people say that to me and come to me, and you already ready. You already have what you need. You thought you didn't have enough. You have enough. Let's do this now. You can do this now. So that's another benefit to talking with a professional. It helps you get rid of the misconceptions and that what my mama said, what my daddy said. I love my parents. They wasn't always right. Nobody's parents were. When you talk to a professional, we'll do this, and this, and you can do this. That's how my nugget, hard rock head, really took in something my mom was saying but didn't fully explain. It was, you need to bank at a credit union. If you're going to do anything, do it at a credit union. Do it at a credit union. And I learned later in life, they give you, if you have to bank with an institution, if you ever need a loan or any type of money, they're going to give you the best interest rate. They just care on another level. I don't know what it is, but That's all my money is in credit unions now. I don't bank with no big bank, no Bank of America, no Wells Fargo, none of them no more. None of my money's there. And my credit unions have been taking way better care of me than them when I've needed them. So, yeah. D, man, I ain't gonna hold you. You've helped change my life, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man.
You are definitely someone that we're gonna have on a couple times a year just to give people that wake up call because they need to hear this. Tell them again where they can connect with you, when they can catch you on your webinars, all that good stuff.
Absolutely, man. So my firm, we actually host a webinar via Zoom every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and also every single Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys are interested, you want to take a look at what we're doing, how we're helping and serving families, reach out to me. Hey, it's a Zoom click away. We're doing everything for those seminars via Zoom, man, because one thing we understand here at World Financial Group is that in order for people to do better, they have to be introduced to better. So we want to show you how you can do these things, and it's not the hardest thing ever. So yeah, my email address, demece.williams@gmail.com. Facebook, you can find me, Demece Williams, DEMECE Williams, as well as on Instagram, DEEWILL, the number 2, the number 8, so DWill28. And I tell you, Rob, man, it's been a pleasure. Man, I appreciate it, man. I'm so blessed that, we were able to connect many, many moons ago at Claflin University, man, and was able to stay in contact. And just you being open and ready to receive what I was sharing made the information sharing so much easy, guys. So, hey, listen, take Rob's word for it, man. He's a valued and well taken care of client of mine, man. And I tell you, man, even if he wasn't a client, man, I'm pretty sure that he would have saw the value and was able to share this information, man. So thank you so much, bro. Hey, to all the noobs out there, man, Dee Will, Epsilon Zeta, Follow 6, Mr. 3000. Man, I love my frat.
I love that send-off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get up out of here. Dee, thank you again for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, all of Dee's information will be in the description. Hit him up. You will not regret it. And be ready to do the work, man. I was the problem. And I recognized years ago that I was a problem, and I decided to do something about it. And when I did something about it, my life got better, and it put me in a position to do more, not only for myself, but for my loved ones. That's what we want y'all to take away from this conversation. Y'all already know y'all can hit us up on Instagram, FME_podcast. Join the Facebook group From My Experience Podcast. Like the Facebook page From My Experience Podcast. If you have any questions, if you want to be a guest or you have a recommended guest for us, you can hit us on the email admin@fmepodcast.com or rob@fmepodcast.com. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves physically, mentally, financially, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.